up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to This Week in White Supremacy. My name is Jasiri X. I am co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. We have a lot. Yeah, we probably don't want to. I don't know. I feel like any type of gunshot is taking on a whole different connotation.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. As we're going here and going forward.
Probably got to get some new sound effects then.
I mean, again, I think like we probably gonna have to play that more. I mean, again, the way this thing is going, and we'll get into that. It is, we might have only gun effect episodes moving forward. But I think I introduced myself. Across from me,
it's a miracle.
Apparently.
In the company of God's punishment, the black women.
Wow.
Apparently being afflicted and oppressed.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea.
Wow.
Man, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
It's your girl Miracle, aka Big Blessings. I don't know what's the bad B word.
Well, again, so it's a balance, right?
Big
we have
even bigger demons. I don't know.
We have Big Blessing, and then we have God's punishment.
Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, fuck Donald Trump.
I don't know. I don't know if we should invite.
I don't know. You just like every single sound effect.
I don't know if we should invite the audience into this conversation.
Yeah, man.
Or just to leave them out.
We will put out our behind the scenes clip. We started, with the conversation about
maybe he should introduce himself.
Yes. Yes. Who are you today, sir?
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm just a toxic heartthrob offering true sentiments, man. I'm just.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're thought, man. You're just a thought. All right,
man.
All right. Can you
Dottie Pippin?
Tell him your name?
Yeah, man. Supreme Asiatic Intelligently Divine from True Cycle. You know what I mean?
Intelligently Divine?
Yeah. Snitching ain't in the design, man. Stop
I like
snitching.
that.
I tell you what, all you niggas out here claiming you radical, stop working with police, man. We see.
Oh man, yeah, yes. Stop pointing it out. And speaking of, again, if this was like right after, again, it's the news cycle moves so quickly.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. One of Trump's tricks, right? Technology. One of his tricks is flooding the zone with so much stuff. Now, for the last 2-3 weeks, no one has even mentioned the word Epstein.
Not at all.
Right? Supposedly there are 5 million missing files, right? So it's almost like you had to give the FBI time to like redact all of this shit.
Oh, he did. He found out. He said, you know what? Hold my beer.
Right. So,
you need time?
Yes. So let's go get Maduro and let's start threatening everybody else. He was like, Cuba, you better make a deal. One of the congressmen, one of his cronies introduced this bill to make Greenland the 51st state. I mean, he's basically saying, I'm going to get Greenland whether NATO like it or not. I'm NATO. I mean, but in between that, and really it was like maybe a day after we recorded our last episode, and ICE has been killing people.
Yeah.
Let's get that straight. Like ICE. 25
was the deadliest shit. They killed what, 32 people?
Well, so there's people that have died in ICE custody.
Okay, so 32 deaths have been on ICE's hands.
So we don't know, there's been people saying like people aren't being fed.
Yeah.
People aren't being closed. ICE just came out and said.
This sounds like something that happened in history before, but go ahead.
Right. I mean, ICE just came out and said, we're not responsible for sexual assaults that take place. Well, okay, if somebody's in your custody, that's what the word custody means, right? You have control over that person. You're telling me if I'm in your custody, you can't protect me? There's no safety or safe haven for me, just even being in your custody. So then why wouldn't I resist if you're going to, if I could end up dead or assaulted? And so what Trump has been doing is using ICE and the National Guard to wage war on cities that he does not like. And most of the time it's because these cities have Democratic mayors.
Yeah.
These cities are in democratic states, and these cities have used the term sanctuary city or sanctuary policy. These cities are saying that we're not going to go looking for undocumented people, that you can feel some semblance of safety here. Trump went on the attack. He doesn't like Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota. And so he went on this intense attack on Somali people.
Didn't some right-wing blogger say that Trump should crucify Tim Walz, walk him down the street and hang him up and crucify him?
I mean, again, we saw they built a galley for Mike Pence.
Right.
I mean, these are some violent individuals. And so he sends the ICE into Minneapolis because of this attack on Somali people. Interestingly enough, from an article that I read, is that when ICE got to Minneapolis, they realized that 99% of Somali Americans are citizens. So then they had to try to pivot. But, Minneapolis is a place where people were organizing against ICE, like many places, right? When ICE shows up, you have ICE Watch, you have people sending messages, yo, if you in this neighborhood, it's cold out there.
Right.
Right. Bundle up. You know what I'm saying? It's icy out there, icy conditions. There were people recording ICE, protesting against it. And again, like, I don't know what role Renee Good was playing, because one of the things that is important to note that I didn't know until later on was she was directly in front of her house.
I didn't know that either.
Like, literally,
wow.
Renee was on her block in front of her house. It looked like, because of, the ICE people were coming up to her, giving her different orders. It looked like she was trying to turn around. That was the point. Like, she was waiting.
Oh, that's
for
obvious.
That pass to try to turn around. Her last words to the ICE agent was, "I'm not mad at you."
Yeah.
When they were like, she's some left-wing lunatic radical, it didn't seem that way. She seemed fine. "I'm not mad at you." And as the ICE officer tries to reach in and grab her and pull her out of the car, she tries to pull away and was shot 3 times in the face. We heard the ICE agent call her a fucking bitch.
Right.
Right.
Which
that was
crazy.
That was his response. Right. And we saw a doctor say, "Can I check her vitals?"
Yeah.
And they say, "No.
We have medics on the scene.
You ain't checking nothing." And so, and then you had Trump tweet out, or Truth out, whatever. Again, the fact that Trump has a platform called Truth Social is crazy. I mean, he should not be allowed to use the word truth, like, moving forward. Like, it should be a law that he cannot use that word. Right? Because Trump said the officer was in the hospital fighting for his life. An officer that calmly walked away.
Yeah.
No injuries whatsoever.
And there was a GoFundMe for the officer, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there still is.
Yeah. It was $120K last time. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, one of Trump's biggest backers is billionaire Bill Ackerman, who put $1 million up to try to stop Mondani donate. Again, you find out through these GoFundMes, like, who are horrible people, right? Who
The worst people.
Who are the worst people, right? You're donating 10,000. You're calling, Renee Good was called a domestic terrorist before any information about her it even came out.
Yeah. And
Kristi Noem was on there saying she was a domestic terrorist. She was part of, again, how do you know that?
I just seen last night that people were trying to falsify Renee Good's arrest records, and they put her face and the wrong age on someone else's arrest records and started circulating this out like, hey, left wing and Democrats, look at this, she wasn't a saint. And then it was immediately flagged because it was someone else's arrest record. Because I think, like, the thing that tipped everybody off was this person's arrest record indicated that she was 44 years old.
Right.
Whereas Renee Good was, what, 36, 38? Something like, she wasn't 44.
Right.
And then all these charges, like child endangerment and assaulting police officers, it ended up being another white woman from that area that they just used her photo on, which is crazy. Like, but we know this as black people. This happens to us all the time.
The whole thing around the attack on Somali Americans, it was actually a white lady.
Yeah.
So it was like they were calling it like the Somali daycare fraud. How? If you're saying the ringleader is this white woman, she not from Somalia. But again, we saw that take place and happen. Yes.
I would like to highlight this, though, that on New Year's Eve, because I haven't seen any mainstream media addressing this, Keith Porter was murdered.
Yes.
By an off-duty ICE agent who is still has yet to answer any questions around this. And I said this last night on my social media platforms, and I'm gonna reread it tonight because I was watching MSNBC last night where they were talking about Renee Good, and this is almost an entirely black panel, and no one mentioned Keith Porter,
right?
Which I found interesting. So I'm going to take space right now, and I would like to thank Kenya over at Spill for bringing this to my attention, because I did not know about this until a friend of mine from LA told me about Keith Porter. But what I said last night was Keith Porter being murdered by an ICE agent was not national news because mainstream media equates black and brown people, regardless of citizenship, as foreign and undesirable.
Yes.
Renee Good is alarming to white America because it confirms our lived experiences with police.
Yeah.
And this is what is their come to Jesus moment for a lot of white Americans, is that, oh, maybe black people were telling the truth about how police treat them.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it being on tape, and like seeing it, not only
Philando Castile was on tape,
right, but I think like not only seeing the murder, like I think the difference is, right, it's some differences. One, the difference is this is, and I want to bring you into this conversation shortly, Miracle. This is, the president, Donald Trump, sending these people to harass a city.
Yes.
Like he's sending these people in to purposely harass. This isn't like a police person or police officer. I was afraid, whatever. This is him. Clearly the officer did not show fear.
No, not at all.
The officer showed like pure hatred and anger. It wasn't fear. You know what I mean? And the officer didn't show contrition. Fucking bitch. That's what he said. Like he wasn't like, oh my God. Even in some of these situations where you've seen these police killing, you've seen the police express some type of, oh my God, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? He didn't do that. It's when you mention Keith Porter, it says, that advocates say Porter was firing a gun into the air in celebration of New Year's, right? Like you said, I'm in my house New Year's. I was like, oh man, somebody sounded like they was firing a gun very close to me. But again, it's New Year's. Like you're in the black communities, New Year's, people fire their gun in New Year's. It's a thing, right? It said, now, this was an off-duty ICE agent. Heard gunshots near his apartment and went to investigate. Investigate what?
That's not even your job.
You're off-duty. What? This is a black man from LA. What jurisdiction do you have?
None.
You know what I'm saying? To investigate what? People shooting guns on New Year? Where are you from? Where have you lived before? Right? And it says that the off-duty officer ordered Porter to put his weapon down. Then the officer fired his gun because he's like, well, who are you? Off-duty? Do you have a badge? Do you have a like?
And you walk around with your face covered while you're on duty,
right? This guy was off-duty. Obviously, he's not in uniform. You know what I'm saying? So again, I
think that's the thing about ICE agents is like their uniform isn't uniform.
100%.
They just pull up in sweats and everything.
Cars are unmarked. Like you said, their face is covered. Now people people found out who the guy who killed Renee Good was, Jonathan Ross. But the doubling down of the Trump administration on this man, and I want to bring you, Miracle, in terms of you're seeing what's taking place in Minneapolis. Like, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? And where does the future of organizing against ICE go now?
So I have been involved in a lot of the ICE out organizing, a lot of the conversations.
Yes. Because
when people first heard that she was shot, there was like, what's going on? And then when you see the videos and then you see the body camera footage,
right?
Everybody's like, oh no, this is not him being under attack at all. This is him being antagonistic. And this is what black and brown people have said about ICE all of the time. This is actually, we're seeing it. Mm-hmm. And it's the idea of and I forgot the gentleman we had here when he talked about when we were at the white supremacy conference, when he talked about white people voting against their interests and literally dying.
Oh, yes.
Like literally
dying of whiteness.
Jonathan Metzl.
Jonathan Metzl. It was like white people's lives are literally being cut short because of their own white supremacy.
Yes.
And this was the clearest example of that.
Yeah.
Of like a white woman, a mother is gunned down in the middle of the street in broad daylight.
In her neighborhood, apparently in front of a house.
In her neighborhood, on camera.
On camera, yes.
All because y'all said y'all wanted mass deportations. Right. Because you didn't care about the people who were in this country, who were forced to be in this country, right? You didn't want to speak out against these corporations plundering and stealing resources. You wanted the Teslas, and people are like, Teslas is not good. You wanted all of these things. You didn't speak out against it.
Right.
And then now this mother is dead, right?
Yes.
And so the organizing, you're starting to see mobilization, I would say even surpassing the George Floyd uprising.
Right.
Because you hear everybody said, oh, George Floyd was just COVID. People were bored.
Right.
They wanted something.
They
just wanted to be outside.
They wanted to go back outside.
Right?
Yes, yes.
And that's why you had George Floyd. Now people are outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, your far right leaning talk show hosts are like, this is not okay. Mm-hmm. Everybody, once you have that clear example of we are all at the bottom of the totem pole. Well,
right.
You see it's different. And it's also different when it's someone who looks like you. And you've said this, time and time before, as like, there is a difference between saying like Black Lives Matter because you don't think the Black lives experience is going to be yours than it is when you're looking on the camera and you are still reeling from Charlie Kirk being shot. Now you have this white woman being shot, right?
Right.
And what I have been in a lot of conversations is a lot of my white organizers and community members are like, we have never undergone this type of visual.
Right.
Like, yes, white people have been killed by the police before. Yeah. Yes, white people have been murdered before, right? But they have never seen this type of consistent visual
the only
of white death.
The only thing comparable, and it wasn't a death, but I remember when it was a white woman being pepper sprayed like by a police officer that kind of brought that Occupy Wall Street from a New York thing to a national thing. It was like the video of these officers just pepper spraying. Like you said, now it's this officer, and it's these officers like that are not, you can't say like, you can't put that like, oh, we're just here to like serve and protect. They're terrorizing. It's like, that's their job. They're terrorizing neighborhoods and people. And now, like you said, shooting white women in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're going, and the thing is, they're going door to door, so they do not even know who's undocumented, who's not. Just the other day, they said that there was a New York City Council employee who went in for his check-in and was detained. So people who have never been in trouble, who are literally just showing up for their court hearings like they're supposed to, are being taken at the court hearings.
Absolutely.
So ICE doesn't know what they're doing. They have like this quote-unquote quota that we're supposed to be against, and they're just snatching people.
It was a young man in Minneapolis. I think he was 17, and he was saying like, we're in front of my house. I have the documentation I can show you, an American citizen. And they said, yo, no, we'll do that we're going to take you in. We're going to fingerprint you. Mm-hmm. We're going to, and again, it's just like, this isn't people in the act of a crime.
Correct.
These are people just doing their job, walking down the street, doing whatever, right at your house.
And the issue with that is there's this organization called Palantir that is a data organization, surveillance network, right?
Right.
And
Peter Thiel.
It's Peter Thiel and a couple other folks, but I think he may be an investor in Palantir. But what they're doing is creating these databases, right?
Yes.
Traditionally, you're supposed to be someone who came here illegally, or you're someone who has committed a crime to be in a database.
Yes.
But they're doing database of U.S. citizens.
Yes.
And the issue is this kid, right, is a U.S. citizen. He gets taken. Where does he get taken to?
Right.
His fingerprints are taken. Who's holding these fingerprints?
Right.
His face is scanned. Where does that data go, and who is it being shared with, right?
Probably doing DNA too.
Who has this, right? Is a kid, right? What rights does he have? Because he's not being arrested. He's being detained.
Not an adult.
But his DNA alleged possibly, and his data and his fingerprints in his face are being seized, right? And no one knows who this information is going to or what it's being used for either.
It is fascinating that the very people that were talking about the government are going to come and they're going to take our guns and they're going to make this into a police state are now cheering on this police state. Because this is the thing, and this for both of you all, supposedly they're sending hundreds to thousands of more ICE officers to Minneapolis.
Yeah, I've seen 1,000 more, yeah.
Right? The mayor was saying that this would mean that there will be more ICE officers in Minneapolis than police.
Wow.
Right. So this, now you have a situation where it's really like a police state, right? Where they're taking over a federal takeover. I mean, we saw it in Washington, D.C. with the National Guard. We saw when the National Guard went to Chicago, and different places, right? And those people sued. We saw National Guard in L.A. To prevent the National Guard from coming. Now it was almost like the National Guard piece was like a temporary until they ramp ICE up. Now, if they ramp, they just announced that ICE is spending $8 million on deals with pro-ICE influencers to push its propaganda online, right? And now what's happening, right? Who owns Twitter? Who owns TikTok? Who owns these spaces, these online spaces? We just saw Meta announce that the new president is the wife of our Republican Senator David McCormick. I forget what the woman's name. So now you have this person over Facebook, Dina Powell McCormick. So now you have a situation where, so where do we get our information from? How are we looking at our information? So it seems like this is a perfect storm for like some type of civil war. Again, now you have 2,000 to 3,000 ICE agents showing up in a city, masked. I saw a video where there was a guy grabbing up people and they confronted him, and he was just some random dude in an outfit.
Yeah.
Right. Because how do you know? ICE agents are not showing you their badges or their names. They're not giving you any information. So literally you can put on some type of uniform and start knocking on people's doors or grabbing people up, right? Disappearing folks. This seems like it's going to a place where we're going to see more of this. I mean, you had, again, immediately after this shooting, Homeland Security standing behind this officer saying he did the right thing. Trump is going to honor the Trump Kennedy Center, which is a whole nother conversation, because even how they did that was illegal, to put Trump's name on the Kennedy Center. He's going to be honored, right, for his contribution to enforcement culture.
So
now, this is the last thing I'll say.
Yeah.
So it's like, did you want to play the Trump clip where they asked Trump if deadly
force is necessary.
If deadly force was necessary.
Yeah, here we go.
You believe that deadly force was necessary after watching all the footage of the days that passed? What's your assessment there?
It was highly disrespectful of law enforcement. The woman and her friend were highly disrespectful of law enforcement. You saw that. They were harassing them, were following for days and for hours. And I think, frankly, they're professional agitators.
But does disrespect,
And I'd like to find out, and we are going to find out who's paying for it,
but does disrespect,
with their brand new signs and all the different things. But these are professional agitators, and law enforcement should not be in a position where they have to put up with this stuff. What that woman and what her friend and what their other friends were doing to law enforcement, not just ICE, law enforcement, is outrageous.
So again, coming to either of you, it seems like this is setting a precedent. So that, this man shot this white woman 3 times in the face, not once, right? He was trying to kill this woman. You shoot 3 times in the face, he was trying to kill her, and he did. He He has been supported, lauded, championed. He's going to be honored. That's now sends a message to the other ICE officers that whatever you do, if I can shoot a white woman on camera in the face and get away with that and be honored for it, any violence that I do now is going to be supported.
Yeah, it's done without recompense. And a woman in Tennessee said to an ICE officer, "Shame on you." And there's a clip here we can play.
Yeah, play that clip.
Where we'll hear it, but this is setting up what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Shame on you.
Listen, have y'all not learned from the past couple of days? Have you not learned?
Learned what? What's our lesson here? What do you want us to learn?
Following federal agents.
Give me my phone.
Snatch your phone up. Right.
So
have you not learned?
Yeah, have you not learned what? So just recently, Elon Musk had made a statement online where
he retweeted.
He retweeted,
yes,
with the 100 emoji.
Yeah.
If white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. Remember, if non-whites openly hate white men while white men hold a collective majority, then they will be 1,000 times more hostile and cruel when they are a majority over whites. White solidarity is the only way to survive. And just a few weeks ago, we talked about how white people were afraid to elect Barack Obama as president because one of the main talking points was that he was going to bring back slavery against white people.
Right.
It's almost like, well, why would you be afraid of a black person in power? Is it because you treated black people poorly in the past?
Absolutely.
Is that why you're afraid?
Yeah.
And what Elon Musk is essentially saying is, we know we treat black people poorly. So in order to keep that as us in charge of treating people poorly, we cannot lose our reigns as the dominant society.
Yeah.
Right. And
real quick, it also makes me wonder, like, the first thing I think about is, okay, like, where's the ADL at? Because remember, the ADL were the ones that when he did 2 Nazi salutes in our face, they were like, no, he's not that. He's not doing a Nazi salute. He's not a white supremacist. And so now when he then retweets something that's clear white supremacy.
Yeah.
Like, then now these defenders of his Nazi salute, where are y'all at?
Yeah.
And how do you explain this? But please continue.
Just and just on that.
Yeah.
Donald Trump says Civil Rights Act.
Yes.
White people were treated very badly.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how we're getting there, but in his new presidential memorandum, he reclassified the definition of domestic terrorism. And these bullet points follow as such: anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the United States government, extremism on migration, extremism on race, extremism on gender, hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility towards those who hold traditional views on American morality.
Right.
Those first couple classifications, anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, isn't that white supremacy? Aren't a lot of these neo-Nazis, anti-government, have extremely violent views on race and gender and
absolutely
and ethnocentric views? Aren't these Christian radicals the ones who are infiltrating the American military, law enforcement, hold judicial titles, the people that are actually tearing asunder what the Constitution is supposed to be doing? All of these people fit the description of those who were arrested on January 6th. Yet what this is indicating is that those who are anti all of that are what now follows under the classification of domestic terrorism. None of this is done by accident. Trump assaulting civil rights. You know who had thoughts and this along the same lines? Charlie Kirk. Yeah. He hated the civil rights bill, called Dr. Martin Luther King a moron.
Bro.
Right?
Who kidnapped or tried to kidnap the governor of Michigan?
Violent white supremacists.
Hey, bro, I'll give you, okay, if you say that was a while ago, who just burned down a synagogue in Mississippi?
Take a guess.
A synagogue.
Let me guess. I'm going to tell you who it wasn't. Wasn't no black people.
It was not.
Who was it in the Epstein files? Wasn't no black people.
Right. And then with this synagogue, it wasn't no immigrants or no Arabs either, because if it was, when they announced this man's name, it would have been front page news on every man. If there was an immigrant or Arab or a Muslim or a black person, you can't even find this dude's picture.
No.
Right? This is a 19-year-old white dude, named Stephen Pittman. And so again, now, so is that extremism on race when you say, oh, you supposedly burned down the synagogue, according to what the FBI said, for its, quote, Jewish ties? But
the synagogue.
Right. But why don't we see his face?
Right.
And where is the pushback and support? So this is where it becomes, because remember, when the FBI, not under Trump, did their due diligence about domestic terrorism, they said the most violent, the most criminal, the ones that had the most crimes were these white supremacist groups.
And all the people that have been part of from January 6th, so many of them, the recidivism rate for them is so high. They've committed so many crimes.
Since we playing clips. Because,
I got the Christy Nolan clip?
Yes. Yeah. Because like you said, here was Trump saying, you had something you want to say, Miracle, before we play this clip?
Play the clip first.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Wait, here's Trump saying, right, that the reason this Renee Good could be murdered in the way she was is because she was being disrespectful to law enforcement. This was what he said. Disrespectful. They were organized. They were with a group of people, and they were being disrespectful to law enforcement. That certainly sounds familiar. In history, have we ever seen another organized group of people be disrespectful to law enforcement?
Yeah, I mean,
did you want to play a clip, sir?
Absolutely.
I actually even know what you're talking about when I ask questions as if like that's an assertion. It's a question. How can you make a conclusion before an investigation? And there really isn't an answer other than you saw the video. I want to ask a question about the rules of how law enforcement is allowed to engage when feeling threatened, per your assertions. Because I want to show some video to you right now and ask, what is the appropriate response for the police officers in this situation?
This is January 6th, if y'all didn't know. And they wasn't disrespecting these officers. They was fucking these officers up.
Those are law enforcement officers being physically attacked. By this standard, would any of those officers be justified in shooting and killing the people causing them physical harm?
Every single situation is going to rely on the situation those officers are on. That they know that when people are putting hands on them, when they are using weapons against them, when they are physically harming them, that they have the authority to arrest those individuals.
The president pardoned every single one of those people.
And make sure that they're getting justice for their actions going forward.
President Trump pardoned every single one of those people.
And every single one of these investigations comes in the full context of the situation on the ground. And that's one thing that President Trump has been so focused on, is making sure that when we're out there, we don't pick and choose which situations are and which laws are enforced and which ones aren't. Every single one of them is being enforced under the Trump administration, and the clarity of the law stands. And if people don't like it, these members of Congress and elected officials should go change the law and make sure they have that debate and policy change.
I just showed you video of people attacking law enforcement officers. Undisputed proof, undisputed evidence. And I just said President Trump pardoned all of them. And you said that President Trump is enforcing all the laws equally. It's just not true. There's a different standard for law enforcement officials being attacked if they're being attacked by Trump supporters. We just saw that.
Miracle?
I was trying to pull it up, but I also remember the Clive and Bundy standoff.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
You know, I
Yeah.
also remember the bikers in Texas.
Yeah.
When they wasn't like a full on like shootout, bang bang.
Yes.
And like, go
Miracle,
ahead.
do you remember when them people up in Oregon or Washington
when they took over the municipality,
over the building?
Yep.
We didn't even see, who are they? We don't even know.
I even, you know, because I like the local context. I remember when the reopened Pennsylvania people went downtown downtown to Pittsburgh,
Yes,
and up the street to Harrisburg with their little weapons.
Yes.
And we're like, open Pennsylvania, are we going to bang, bang, shoot them up? And
right after, and that was like a week after the Tree of Life. That was like a week after a man ran into a synagogue in Pittsburgh and killed 9 people. They was marching with their machine guns.
So I remember a lot, and nobody really cared. Nobody really had an issue.
Why didn't they care, Miracle?
But then I also see viral, like in Philadelphia, the Black Panthers were now on this 8th resurgence. And now people are losing their minds that these armed Black men are walking the streets, as is their white in Pennsylvania, because of our very lax gun laws, which even I'm very surprised about, because I didn't realize you could just be outside carrying with your little, because we're essentially like a little bit like Texas, a little bit little restrictions like California. But like, why do y'all care?
Why do they care?
Why do they care? But I've been thinking a lot about everything that's happened in the past week. And I think for me and a lot of us, seeing Mike Brown laying on that concrete for 4 hours was like a trigger for a bunch of us.
Yes, of course.
And then watching Renee be in that car and then seeing no one be able to get to her.
Right.
And then being like, oh, this is now a pattern.
Yeah.
People that you do not value and you do not care about, not only do they get to be murdered by you, but you get to make sure they're dead by refusing them medical care.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And refusing them life-saving care. And I know, obviously, for those who've been organizing, people have been drawing, comparisons to the IOF. But I want to talk about, what does that mean for here? Because you said, what is our next steps of organizing?
Yeah.
It's like, now we have to be our own medics. Yeah. Right? So now, who taught us that? Black people here in Pittsburgh.
Come on.
So now, essentially, we literally just have to go back to doing all the things that our Black organizers and elders were doing in the 50s and 60s and 70s, because now we're seeing that the state is not going to protect us, but it's also going to shoot us down in the middle of the street in broad daylight. And I'm just like, just the audacity to be able to do that and think that there was going to be no pushback. Like this administration is just like, oh yeah, we're okay. Why are y'all upset? They're literally shocked. We had thousands of people in Pennsylvania come out. There has been protests all across the United States.
Protests, yes.
And it's now weekly. So we are past the 2020 uprisings. The people are doing lawsuits. People are now trying to figure out how to stop these ICE centers from being built, trying to get rid of these contracts. People are now saying that next year they're not going to be doing these ICE detention facilities. It's a lot happening, and I don't know how long it's going to be sustained, because a lot of people fear that this is just the mechanism to have martial law. That's what everybody.
That's what it looks like.
That's what everybody's fear is. But I think at the end of the day,
Trump is taking over. Yeah,
they're just going to kill whoever they want to kill. They're going to shoot however they want to shoot, and it's going to be a mass swell of people. I think it's what we always talk about. If only 12% of the population does something,
it has to be that, because again, like you said, moments after it wasn't even maybe an hour after this shooting, J.D. Vance came out, the vice president, and said these officers have immunity. Because remember, Minnesota was saying, or Minneapolis was saying, we're going to prosecute this man for murder. They said, oh, they have immunity,
which is crazy.
Right? So again, you have now this armed. Remember, they're doing these loyalty pieces where you got to be loyal to Trump and loyal to the administration to even get the job. And now,
what are they calling, a blood oath or something?
I mean, bro, you just had Kristi Noem, right? The Ice Barbie, the head of Homeland Security, speaking from a podium. And the podium says, one of ours, all of yours. And they said that was taken from Nazi Germany. But the thing is, if you take one of ours,
we're taking all of
if you harm one of ours, we are going to kill all of, that's what it means. If you kill one of ours, the whole quote is, if you kill one of ours, we're going to kill all of yours, right? ICE is using literal neo-Nazi anthems in
the Homeland Security.
Right. In their promotion of, yo, be a part of ICE. You know what I'm saying? We're going to use this actual record.
There was a TikToker that put that out, and they've since removed the audio.
Oh, okay.
They've since removed the audio, and it's like, oh, we know what we did.
Right. It's a white supremacist anthem. Yeah. By God, we'll have our own home again.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is very...
they're playing in your face. They're not being covert with any of this. This is right in your face.
Yes, they're not even trying to be subtle. You know when you try to be subtle? Again, when Donald Trump comes out and says...
Civil rights, white people treated badly.
The Civil Rights Act and movement caused white people to be treated bad. This isn't subtle, right?
No.
He said white people were very badly treated. Where they did extremely well, and they were not invited to go into a university or college. So I would say, in a way, I think it was unfair in certain cases. I think it was also, at the same time, it accomplished some wonderful things, but it also hurt a lot of people. People that deserved to go to college, deserved to get a job, were unable to get a job. So it was reverse discrimination. And all we ever was asking for is an even playing field. Because the issue was that you weren't able, like, if I submitted my application, it wasn't on an equal level.
Yeah, that's why that's the whole reason we created black universities.
But that was the whole thing. The whole thing was, judge us. This was what Martin Luther King said, right? Not by the color of my skin, right? Or the complexion of my skin, but the content of my character, right? And so, but we weren't being judged by that. We were being judged by the color of our skin. Yes. And so it didn't matter if we had the same equal amount of accomplishments or even twice as many. We did not get the job. So who were hurt? The people that were hurt were the people that were getting these jobs with no accomplishments only because they were white.
Yeah.
And so now you're saying we need to go back to a time where white people was running this shit. This is what Elon was saying. White solidarity. We got to come back to a time where all the other races are under our foot. We're arresting you. We violating you. We're shooting you. We're killing you. And any white person, this is the thing around Renee Good, right? Any white person that stands on the side. Renee Good was expendable because she was there trying to help brown people from being oppressed, arrested illegally, harassed, and terrorized by these ICE agents. So if you're a white person, because that's why you leave them out there, right? You leave them out there. You put the deer on the front of your car to show.
That's a great metaphor.
Right? I did this, right? You celebrate the killer to show. If you stand on the side of brown people, if you stand on the side of black, remember, if you was on the side of black people, you was a nigger lover.
Yep.
And you was somebody that was ostracized from the broader white community. And again, we tried to tell y'all motherfuckers that this was coming
for hundreds of years.
But I'm just saying, we on this podcast.
Oh yeah.
That's why it's called This Week in What. We've been doing this for 5 years. Dang. We tried to tell y'all from 2020 to now where this was going to end up. Now we're here and white people are being killed and their killers are being celebrated. And first it was just us being killed and our killers. It was Zimmerman being celebrated. It was the officer that killed Mike Brown being celebrated.
Officer that killed George Floyd.
Right?
Yeah.
It was them. Now it's your murderers being celebrated. Your murderers getting GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do now?
I think I don't know about what we do now in terms of us telling white people we told you so, but I think it's very interesting when you start drawing parallels.
Yes.
The way that Ashley Babbitt was talked about versus the way Renee Good was talked about.
Yes.
Right? No one wanted to have that conversation.
No.
How Ashley Babbitt was this patriot.
Yes.
Ashley Babbitt was all of these things. They martyred her.
Yeah.
Right? The Trump administration martyred her.
She was peaceful. Ashley Babbitt, who was trying to break into the Capitol. We saw the video. She's breaking glass.
Yeah. She's not like, her and Renee Good are not the same person.
No.
Yet and still.
Yeah.
Ashley Babbitt is the one who received all the praise, all the posthumous honors.
But why?
Because she fit the agenda of the Trump administration.
And that's it. That's the only reason.
She fits the narrative,
yes.
right? She's a convenient figurehead
yes.
to further the cause.
Yes.
The officer who shot Ashley Babbitt,
yeah,
the black officer who killed this white woman, was demonized, had to quit his job, had to hire security, had to go into hiding for fear for his family and his safety.
Yeah.
Because he was a black person, regardless of occupation, who murdered a white woman who is furthering a political agenda of a party who could not stand the fact that they lost a fair and balanced election.
Yeah.
And when Renee Good is murdered on camera, the first thing the presidential office, the highest office in the United States of America, does is blames her, criminalizes her for her death. So now white people see that there's no such thing as a perfect victim. Was black people have to be the perfect victim? Philando Castile followed all the instructions and complied? That goes out the window. Now you see our lived experiences aren't just some folklore that we share amongst each other when we're in black communion or churches or wherever we go to feel safe. This is our reality.
Right.
And now it's becoming your reality. You don't know how to act. And the thing is that has me tight about it is white people just now want to protest. All of a sudden, just now want to protest.
They were protesting in 2020. We were protesting.
I have my thoughts about that, but whatever.
In 2020.
They don't do it without black initiative. White
of course, yeah.
Because they scared. They know what's happening.
You're saying now?
Yeah.
Well, again, it's interesting because it's like, you know, one of the things that where people were coming up, and I know I want to bring it to you, Miracle, as well, is like they were saying like now, you know, Trump's been threatening Greenland.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump is basically saying like, you either, you know, like a gangster would, get down or lay down. Either you make a deal with me or we taking your shit. And people were saying, oh, when it was African countries, brown countries.
When it's Central America, it doesn't matter.
Or Arab countries.
Right, it was the Middle East.
It was kind of like, you know, thoughts and prayers. Now you're talking about a white country.
Even though there's a lot of Inuit, there's a lot of indigenous people.
Well, I'm just saying, Denmark's, now NATO got some strong, quote unquote, strong words. But it's like, okay, now if he goes in and take, now NATO, what y'all gonna do?
And Trump said, just because you go someplace 500 years ago and land a boat there does not mean that land is yours. Well.
Yes. Hey.
Well, Donald, let me tell you something about American history.
Look down and see where your feet are right now. Look down, sir.
Just because someone came here 500 years ago on a boat, that doesn't mean this land is theirs.
But it's something that Miracle always, and then I'm coming to you because Miracle been saying it like, okay, when it was people that did not look like you, when it was people that had funny names, when it was people that had a different religion, when it was people that had a different complexion, you could say, oh, that, you could look at that and say, oh, that's not me. You could think that that's never coming to your door. Now it's literally, we're coming to your door. Literally.
Through your windows.
Coming through, knocking on the door, busting in your house, no warrant needed. Again, they can break laws because they have immunity. They got immunity. And the federal government is going to say, do whatever it takes. So now, will we see, Miracle? Like you said, this 12%, I mean, we were at the last No Kings, we participated in the last No Kings. It was millions of people across the country. I think they said 6 to 7 million. Do we think now, like, will we see this uprising? Will we see this? Oh, okay. We will.
Yeah. Yes. And the only reason why.
Do we think it's going to lead to actual change?
Yes. But my fear is that it's only going to lead for change for white people. And that is America. Like that is like my fear, because that's what happened after like 2020 is like we said we were going to make all these changes, and then people were like, wait a minute, no, we're just going to give police officers, you know, body cameras, and then we were like, no, we want the police to stop killing us, and it was like, you get this very cute, mural,
George Floyd Act, that ain't, you know, voting rights, none of that.
You know. Luckily in Pennsylvania, and I'm very happy. I'm going to shout all the organizers in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
Because Pittsburgh put on one of the first, anti-ICE rallies in Pennsylvania. And people said, oh, folks came out and y'all said abolish ICE. Y'all said F ICE.
Yeah.
Y'all said ICE out. Oh, we will take this nationwide.
Yeah.
And that is what you're seeing. It's like ICE out, abolish ICE. And I want to tell people, because people keep saying like, well, what happens if there's no ICE? And I said, well, Congress will do its job. Like, people forget immigration is at heart a congressional responsibility.
Thank you.
Not only just the ways in which people can get into this country, but also creating the policies that force people to have to come here.
And these aren't criminal charges. Like, immigration is not
it's a civil thing.
Civil case.
But like the wars powers, the way the United States engages in contracts, this falls under the congressional authority. And Congress has basically pretended like they do not exist right now.
Right.
All of this chaos, all of this stuff is happening is at the heart of Congress.
Right.
And I do want to point that out. And I also want to remind people is if we do not want people in this country, then we have to have a conversation about what we are doing to other countries. Because we look at Greenland, they said they're going to pay them $100,000 to leave and go where?
Right.
Right. So if we're now paying people $100,000 to now come to the United States of America, so then they can have Greenland. So another billionaire can make more billions of dollars.
Right.
What are you going to do then? Because now there are thousands of more people who you're going to say aren't American who are now here.
Right. Right.
Right. I believe in the free movement of people. I believe wherever people want to go, they should be able to be. That is my personal philosophy in the world. I don't really subscribe to how we look at immigration because I think it's a money play and I think it's stupid. You should not have to worry about your rights changing if you cross a bridge or a border. It just never made sense to me, right? But when we look at what's going on in the world, I think it was AOC who said, all of that money that's coming for ICE was taken away from healthcare.
Yeah.
All that money that's going to ICE was taken away from Medicare and Medicaid.
Yeah.
All of the investments that we were supposed to have as a country has now been diverted to ICE because Congress voted for that.
Right.
So again, the issue, and I am going to push
and the
this,
Senate voted for it.
and the Senate, but the issue, like we have these midterm elections coming up, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people are like, but like this is the time where you have to put in people who are going to do the thing, but also have done the stuff in the past.
Yes.
And I don't want to be like, oh, now we get to, vote in May and then vote in November and yay, next January. No, because in between the meantime, people are going to be dying. People are being arrested. People are going to be detained and deported. And we have to do everything right now to fight and make sure that doesn't happen.
And Miracle, I mean, we can see a scenario, a very clear scenario of, as we get closer to midterms, Donald Trump, knowing that he's going to lose, he said it. He said, if we lose the midterms, I'm going to be impeached. He said he knows it, and he should be. He should be impeached.
They were drawing up articles of impeachment last night for Kristi Noem.
Right.
Yeah.
So they know that. I could see a scenario where Trump suspends these elections.
Mm-hmm. We talked about this before.
Under the guise of
martial law or whatever.
Right,
yeah.
Right
we talked about this on the show so many times.
Right now,
and
Miracle,
I think that's when what do they call it? The fake government, the shadow government. They keep saying that Barack was running.
Yeah.
I think we'll see a coup if that happens. I really do think that if he shuts down the government, we are going to see a coup.
But if you have all of these military people that are with him, remember, he has his own. ICE is in effect his own force. So if he has this force with him, listen, right?
We also have, each state has the National Guard.
Miracle. This is from the New York Times.
Correct.
Right. It says, it says, FBI inquiry into ICE shooting is examining victims' possible ties to activist groups.
Mm-hmm.
So now what are they doing? Now they're going after the activist groups, right? And now they're going to try to criminalize people that are organizing to push back on ICE are being criminalized. So again, I'm just saying, if that happens,
it's very much weather underground, and I want to be very
we should be right, and that's
I just
what y'all white people need to be.
I just want to be very clear. I'm not advocating for death and violence and bombing, but I'm saying I think you're going to see a resurgence of like the weather underground style. We've seen a bunch of lone wolf situations happening, and those usually have been targeted at individuals. I also want to be very clear, especially the situation that happened in Mississippi. We do not target individuals for what their governments do. We go after the government structures and the people in government. And I'm not saying kill the people in government because I have, but I'm saying those are the people that your focus is and your target is. what the United States has been able to do succinctly these past like 5 years is try to get people in the mindset they have to go after people.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a job, blame an immigrant. Oh, your healthcare is too expensive, blame a trans person.
Right.
Oh, like you have to pay more for insurance, blame a black person, right?
Yes.
So we have this idea in our minds that we're supposed to go after random individuals of people we want to hold responsible.
Right.
No, the president of the United States is right there. The Congress, the Republicans hold the presidency, they hold the Senate, and they hold the Congress. What is going on is because of their abject failure and their fecklessness to stand up to Donald Trump and say that you're ruining the country.
Right.
There was a conversation. I don't know if people watched that Venezuela conversation with all the oil executives, and somebody was like, I just didn't realize that like we're just like billionaires playthings at this point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we saw that with when all of the tech people went and met with Trump, and it was like a ass kissing show. It was like a contest to see who can kiss this man's ass the best, right? And so the same thing with these oil things. But again, interesting because you have this conversation like right now in Iran, they're protesting. And so it's been this conversation about like, hey, should we be supporting the Iranian protesters that are protesting against this like brutal regime? And it's like, yeah, we should, because that's what we're doing here.
Come on, man.
I mean, because when you see, again, if you think, when you see how they responded to Jonathan Ross murdering Renee Good, if you think that's going to be the only one after that response.
Come on.
And so it's like, yeah, we're with everybody protesting to take down these brutal right wing. Like the government of Iran starts to look very similar to the government of the United States. This right wing, women get back into the kitchen. We want to take away the women's right to vote, black people's right to vote.
And we Muslim
we want to bring this back to the white supremacy. Yeah, it's like anyway. Like again, when we talk about like, and this is one of the things that I thought Mandami did very well when he's talking about like ethno-religious states. I don't know if I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to you shouldn't be subjected to the religious ideology of the individuals in charge of the state.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? You should be able to, again, you respect the laws, like don't disrespect the religion, but I shouldn't be forced to cover up if I don't subscribe to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's your thing. I should be able to move and do whatever I need to do to the best of my ability and degree, right?
Yeah, Malaysia's right there. Like,
yeah.
I think
right. So I'm just saying it is fascinating. So it's like if you're looking over there, but not seeing this brutality and oppression happening right here in front of your eyes, and if you think whiteness will save, like Renee Good showed you, whiteness will not save you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Whiteness is not, if you are against Trump, and they just put a thing out that said, one of ours, all of yours. Mm-hmm. They're literally telling you in your face, they're Nazis.
Yeah.
What more do you have to, does Trump have to tattoo a swastika on his fucking forehead?
That wouldn't even bother them at this point. That wouldn't even bother them.
What do you need to see after what we've just seen? I don't know.
Yeah, and I was talking to one of my friends who's Iranian, and he was saying, a lot of people have grown up in the global South under the boot of American imperialism. And a lot of these right-wing dictators came to power because of the United States and were able to use the tariffs and the embargoes as a means to suppress and hurt their own people. And so at the heart of all of this is still like the United States. And its need to create an empire in this 21st, 22nd century. What is going on in Iran is not only tragic, but is the apathy of the United States and the meddling of Western governments that is making it worse. Because then people want to say the organic uprising, the organic uprisings in Egypt. Then people get in and use social media and use their own political pundits to make it worse. People have the right to self-determination. So if people in Egypt and Syria and Iran want to raise up, they should be able to do so without being weaponized by other governments, without being weaponized by other individuals. I believe in like I said, a free society of our people. And I believe that whether it's Judaism or Islam or Christianity, there should be a way for people to exist in a state without being harmed. I look at like Burkina Faso, like so many people were so excited to watch this situation, just watch this state develop. And one of the first things they did is like, okay, well, now we're going to kick out the gay people. Right. And it's like, well, you didn't need to do that. You could have literally just kept on building your city. You're doing all this stuff to keep doing all the great things. You don't have to start kicking out people within your country, right?
We're here watching people openly talk about, not random Twitter bots. We're here watching congressmen and senators say, we kick all of the Muslims out of the United States.
Yes.
We're watching them say that, except the ones that Trump brings that allow him to build luxury golf courses in Riyadh or that give him billion-dollar planes, except those, right? But the Muslims here, it's like we all gotta go. And again, it's like you just read a thing. Being anti-Christian now is being a terrorist. They didn't say anti-religious. You know, you can be anti-Semitic and Islamophobic all day. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it becomes, again, like to me, that's why it's like what we see happen over there is actually happening right here.
And, you know, like Jesus is over here turning tables. Like, is that not anti-Christian? You know what I'm saying? Calling y'all out for being lukewarm. Is that not anti-Christian? So like, what is going on here? You know,
it depends on who says it. If I say it, it's anti-Christian.
That's one thing that I've been seeing a lot now is this narrative perspective that the right is having is, oh, well, Obama deported 4 million people, but when Trump deports 400,000, it's an issue.
Yeah, Obama did it in ways that were not as violent. Right. And Obama was a deporter in chief. Remember that that don't boo vote happened because he was being protested.
Yes.
You know, around his immigration.
We protested Obama's immigration shit too. So don't make it seem like we were just like, okay with immigration and ICE deportations. We weren't.
I listen, I grew up in a place where some of the people like the Sean Hannitys and the D.A. Kings of the world were organizing and mobilizing people against immigration. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, you have no problem using people for their labor.
Yeah.
And then saying, oh, but now you got to get out of here. Yeah. It wasn't the issue of people being in this country. It was people being upset that people in this country may have the ability to have health care and housing and be able to engage and move and that made them upset.
See, I would go further. They don't mind immigrants coming and doing menial labor. But what happens is now that person comes, and again, you might come and be a gardener and then you have children.
And your children are smart.
You know what immigrant parents be doing. And then you making sure your children, you making sure your children are reading. Right. Your children ain't no iPads up in this month.
Yeah, no.
Right.
And they start performing high in schools. They start achieving things.
Right. And now your children become
he's talking about me.
College graduates.
I didn't graduate university.
Your children become successful and rich entrepreneurs, whatever. That's the issue. And now they're quote unquote anchor baby. Now they're US citizens. Right? So that's to me, the problem is it's like you want to keep us. This is what Trump said about civil rights. You want to keep us subjugated. You were cool when blacks were subjugated and it was a glass ceiling. Couldn't get no higher than that. You know what I'm saying? We could not. No, y'all are under here. We run that and they're bringing that back. Like when you see them tables that Trump be at, you don't be where the black people at? Where the brown people at? You know what I'm saying? You know, Vivek lasted about 5 seconds in the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Get your ass out of here.
And Carlton let him know where he stood immediately.
1,000%. Look at what is happening to Byron Daniels. In Florida.
Look what happened to Tim Scott.
Right. These MAGA people are running against you and calling you ghetto.
Byron Scott shit?
The Byron Daniels.
Or Byron Daniels, yeah.
He is Panamanian, right?
Yeah.
He's had this whole...
I didn't know that.
Yes, he is not African-American representative. He's Panamanian. He is someone who has spoken out against Black Americans getting reparations.
Yeah.
Has talked about it's not needed, all this type of thing, in part because his family lineage would not benefit from reparations. All this type of stuff. There is a literal fascist, a literal white supremacist fascist who is running for governor of Florida, who is now calling like Byron Dance, saying Byron is going to
turn Florida into a Section 8 ghetto.
All type of stuff. Is saying that my white wife.
First, before that, he doesn't call him Byron, he calls him Byron. He's calling him Byron.
Oh my days!
He's like he literally put a side by side. My white wife is prettier than your white wife. Oh, like literally is going. I mean, and this man is a fascist. Like he literally was like, the problem, one of the things is Florida is like the trains aren't running on time.
Oh, so Byron Daniels is running for governor.
It's Byron Donald. Byron Donalds.
Oh, we just made it. The name.
Right.
Byron Donalds, my bad.
And that is a reference to Mussolini, who was a fascist. And one of the things that people used to say was, allegedly, you know how this stuff works, is even if Mussolini was a fascist and killed all these people, at least the trains ran on time. At least he had an effective,
that's what they said,
in effective government. And so this guy, I think his name is James or something.
His name is James Fishback. He called him Byron, and he's also called him a slave.
Oh,
and he said his vision for Florida is to turn Florida into a Section 8 ghetto.
And he said OnlyFans creators could face a sin tax.
Oh shit! Oh, that's the one you call.
He was like, absolutely not. But
sex work is work.
But I think
afraid your price is gonna go up.
I
But
actually don't have any OnlyFans.
I'm afraid. But and then he also came out and was like against the genocide, and that's how a lot of people got to know him, was because of that. And
this white man,
yes,
James Fishback.
Yes. So what we're seeing now is, and there's another conversation about how these fascists are trying to basically co-opt populism that they've seen in Europe, but make it more palatable for the United States, and they're going to take over in response to Donald Trump because they feel like Donald Trump is not fascist enough, in the sense that he is beholden to Qatar and Israel. So that is
that's the Nick Fuentes wing.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I just seen something last night about she took her MAGA hat off and she said this guy sold out to the Jews.
Yeah.
Correct. And so now what we are now about to see, and it's becoming an issue, is we're now seeing actual fascists. This man is unapologetic. He has great videos. I looked at his videos and I looked at his ads, and I was like, very multicultural videos. And there was
how can you have a multicultural video and you calling your black opponent a slave and Byron? Who's showing up in these videos?
And also they're doing the JD Vance. A lot of these people are in multicultural relationships. They do not have
crazy.
So now we're starting to see this image of fascism that's younger and it's multicultural, but it has the same desire to kill Black, brown, and Muslim people. And it, because if you look at his campaign ads on silent, one of the things that what we were taught to do, because I did study political science, you look at campaign ads first on silent. You don't listen to the words. You turn off the closed caption.
Silent, it was banging.
And you're looking, and you look at like who's there, what is the visual representation that this ad is trying to tell me, and then you go and look at it because you want to see what the messaging is, and then you go and research the person. And when I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is dangerous.
Right?
Like people are literally going to think that these individuals are good people until they do their further research. And a part of this is because the Democrats aren't listening to folks, the Republicans aren't listening to folks, and people are scared. Like people are scared. I had a conversation someone the other day, and they were like, "What are we going to do if people cannot make rent in a month?
Yeah,
what are we going to do if it actually snows in Pittsburgh?"
It's funny because the Democrats are talking about Rahm Ahmed. Like, wait,
that's how desperate.
Like, is that that can't be the plan for 20? Rahm, you're going to pick it's almost like, okay, we have Hank Jeffries. And we have Schumer. Who's worse than them?
And
who's less popular and more unlikable than these two?
He also calls him AIPAC Shakur.
Yeah.
Donalds as well. So again.
But again, I mean,
listen, they're watching our show and stealing our slogans.
Yeah.
But I just want people to just be like very mindful of like, we have to go back to having a lot of situational awareness, a lot of digital awareness, a lot of media literacy, and a time when journalism is being just destroyed.
100%. AI, everything. And also now, I mean, we need solidarity now more than ever. And again, we need to find a way to come together beyond some of these small, whether it's language, whatever is keeping us smart. Like, it's on all of us. Like, we're all under, once they're openly giving Nazi propaganda, all of us are under attack. So at some point, we all are going to have to come together and figure this out. And those of us that want to live in a world together in unity and in peace.
So I said this, and apparently it's been resonating with a lot of people. I got to shout out Dominique Morgan for being the inspiration to this. Solidarity means us coming together as a collective and fighting back. It does not mean being friends. And when I said that at the protest, people said they loved it. So I'm going to say it again here. When we're fighting for solidarity and liberation, it means that I want you to have shelter, somewhere to lay your head. It doesn't mean I want to invite to your house to have brunch or lunch. I want you to be able to pay your phone bill. I don't want you to call me. I want you to be able to walk down the street. I don't want to walk with you. Like, this idea of you being free does not mean I want you attached. It doesn't mean I want you to be my friend. And a lot of us, we've bastardized solidarity to be a friends and popularity contest. Solidarity is what Chairman Fred Hampton talked about, of we have to come together to fight fascism, and we have to come together to fight racism. We have to come together to fight police brutality by showing up together, by strategizing together, by passing legislation together, by being in community together, not by just like hanging out and being friends. We are not here to make friends. We are here to literally flip tables and make sure our people are able to live another day. And so when we're talking about solidarity, it's inviting everybody to the meeting. You know, we have no permanent friends, only temporary non-enemies. And that is what we have to use to mobilize and to push. Because at the end of the day, we should be able to have our own things, be in our own communities, do what's needed, but know that state violence is not going to come for us at the end of the day. And that is what solidarity and liberation is fighting for, not friendship, not any of the other stuff.
Yeah, so our white pages, I know we went over, it's so much for us to talk about. Our white pages today, Jesmyn Ward, do you know this book?
Oh, I said, that we went over. I was like, I thought we had like 30 more minutes. I had so much stuff to say.
So much to talk. It's so much we haven't even got into. It's called Let Us Descend. It's a two-time, Jesmyn is a two-time National Book Award winner. It says one of the most serene and singular gifted writers working today. And so this is our book. It was an Oprah Book Club book. Let Us Descend, Jesmyn Ward. We have a Know Your Rights training. Everybody probably need to come to that, right? This Thursday. So you can find that on our social media, and sign up and register for that. We have our Civic Cipher coming up February 10th, starring Miracle, you know what I'm saying, with Kelly Strayhorn Theater. We have our Welcome in City event February 17th. So and probably in between that, it's a lot of organizing and pushing back happening. You have some more stuff.
We have MLK happening with Kelly Strayhorn.
Yes, we have an MLK celebration. Kelly Strayhorn, it does that. They do a very good job. So that's Monday the 19th.
Yeah, that's next week. Like MLK.
Yeah.
This is MLK's dream, MLK's nightmare. This is dream,
absolute nightmare.
But this is it's just like why? Like, I just wake up every day and I'm like, how has the world fallen apart?
I mean, yes.
But then also, how are we putting it back together? And so the organizers, people who are carrying food to people who are just like showing up. That is how we're just rebuilding this world and building something new, bit by bit, thread by thread.
All right.
Yeah. With that being said, final words. You said yours. Final words, my brother.
Niggas had enough words, bro.
Okay. We need you to take that punishment, brother, and give it to someone.
Take the burden to somebody.
Take the burden to some other community. With that being said, Jasiri X, y'all. This week in White Supremacy, One Hood. Peace.